I figured I could kind of through that. Oh yeah, and you can start recording now. Sorry about that, Janaea. But so the vice president, the role of the vice president really is a little bit less defined than it is for some of the other roles, like treasurer, for example, right? Like we know the treasurer. Could you close the door? Could you close the door? We know that the treasurer, for example, produces our budgets, our balance sheets, and things like that every meeting. For the vice president, they're most active either when the president itself, in their official duties, I should say, when either the president themselves is unable to act in their role, so like running meetings and things like that when the president is sick. But they're also our strike captain. In the event that we do go on strike, the vice president would be the strike captain for our local, which means that they would be involved in coordinating our strike efforts. And so that's just a little bit of background about this position. If you would like to learn more about the positions, we have position descriptions for all of the elected positions here at MAPE on our website. And so with that, what I figured I would do first, if that's okay with both Liz and Amber, is to let them introduce themselves and talk a little bit about themselves. We'll give you about 2 or 3 minutes for that each, if that's okay. And I'm going to try to be pretty strict, just so that way we have time for all our questions. So if I interrupt you, just know I'm not trying to be disrespectful. And I think I'll start with Liz, since she's the one on the big screen for me right now.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Liz McClune, and yes, Michael is right. We used to be with employment and training programs, but now we're with Career Force, and I'm on the rapid response team for the dislocated worker program. And I've done that for the last 9.5 years, and I've been a MATE member for the time that I've been at Deed. This position used to be contracted through the Minnesota AFL-CIO. And so I was a machinist during that time. And then once I became a Deed employee, I became a MATE member right away. And I have a history.
Uh-oh, we lost you, Liz. Um, if Liz doesn't get back by 2:08, we'll have you go, Amber, and then we'll just have Liz go and finish her part up, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
It kicked me off. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Sorry about that. I don't know how that. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. We're good. We can hear you. You're good if you want to keep going. We'll give you another minute. You
Okay,
got till
thank you.
2:09.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so the AFL-CIO had regional um, offices, and I began as the only staffer. And the whole point was to build power for working people all of the time, not just during elections. And so that's where I come from when it comes to labor, is making sure that we're building power for working families all of the time. And a lot of my work in my career has been focused on that. And then also my personal life with my involvement with the union, if I'm not then working for the union. And I live in St. Paul with my 2 little boys and my husband, Nate. And that's me.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Liz. Amber, do you want to go?
Yeah. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for everybody for being here this afternoon. I really appreciate it. So my name is Amber Alton, and I am an innovation consultant at Deed, working on the customer innovation team, which is within Workforce Services and Transformation. And so that team, what we do is we provide support to teams across the agency to help them do their work better. Teams come to us when they are facing big challenges and they are looking for help either doing research, strategic planning, discovery sprints, the like. So really have a lot, and I come to Deed. I've been here for 8 months. And before Deed, I worked as a user experience researcher at a variety of tech companies. And before that, I earned my PhD in sociology at the University of Minnesota. And then in terms of my work in the labor movement thus far, I've been actively organizing with the 32-hour work week campaign, which I know that some folks in this conversation have been a part of. And I've been doing a variety of project management and helping to just better communicate the messaging around the importance of the 32-hour work week and really around labor power within MAPE. And so really excited to be having this conversation today and talking about some of my ideas for how we work to build power, particularly within 501. And then just personally, I live in South Minneapolis with my wife, Patrice, who works as a comms director at a local nonprofit. We live here with our 3 cats. So yeah, excited to talk today and tell you more about myself.
Awesome. Thank you, Amber. And kind of keep you talking a little bit. So, the
Yeah.
very first question that we have that'll go to you, and then
Mm,
Liz will answer after, and you'll have 2 or 3 minutes to respond, is
mm,
the VP position doesn't have, like I had talked about, it doesn't have a lot of circumscribed duties outside of a strike or a president on leave. So, really, there's a lot of opportunity there for you to make the role what you want and what it needs to be for the local. So, how do
yep.
you plan to support the local members and the leadership?
Yeah. And so for me, I love this question. I really think for me, there's 3 prongs to it. So the first is that I really hope to support the locals, its members and its leadership by providing ongoing education to demonstrate the importance and the power of MAPE. I hope to build coalition power with leaders within the larger MAPE structure and with other locals. And then third, I hope to do the work to listen to 501 members about their priorities and work to bring those to our contract negotiators, particularly ahead of our upcoming contract negotiation cycle in 2025. And why I've settled on these 3 things is because I think that they're, particularly with the membership question that I know is coming up, I think there is a lot of work that needs to really be done about showing the importance and the power of our union and really what our union does and the things that we can help with. And I think that in doing that, we can really work to increase our membership numbers by showing people, by really demonstrating the value proposition to people. I think that I'm truly of the belief that people who are non-MAPE members, most of the people who are non-MAPE members are not members because they don't agree with the union or because they don't like the union, right? It's more about that they just need the education to know better or to know more and to want to be involved. And I think that it's also important to be building coalition power because I think that our power at the negotiating table comes from people, right? And us being connected and aligned and having a shared message. And so I'm really focused then, excuse me, on doing the work to connect with other locals and larger MAPE leaders to really align on our priorities. And then finally, I think that, I the value of state service is because of our union and because of the benefits that we get at because of the benefits that we gain at the negotiations table. And so what I really want to do is make sure that I'm listening to 501 members and able to represent their priorities to our negotiators, both regional and at large, to make sure that our voices are heard. You're muted, Michael.
My bad. Liz, same question, and I recognize there was a little bit of a time overage there, I think just because I had to go and there was people knocking at the door. So feel free to take like an extra minute or two too. It wasn't too bad, so.
No, that's just fine. And I apologize, my computer disconnected again while Amber was speaking. So hopefully it goes okay this time. I see real opportunity with the vice president role. like that it's flexible so that an individual can come in and maybe make it their own. And I would do just that. I would come in and I would listen to the membership needs and act accordingly. I've already kind of, through my steward work and through my activism with MAPE and my political affiliation with MAPE. I have already been doing some of that work, is listening to the membership and then taking it ideas to the membership meetings. For example, we had noticed that some of the people didn't get their 10-year anniversary gifts. And I was like, oh my goodness, 10 years, that's quite a great feat. But what about the people who have been working at Deed for 5 years and in between and less than that? And I think they should be rewarded as well. So I'm on the employee engagement committee, and I brought that to the committee and I said, hey, let's look at reducing the years of service for this recognition award. And it's being recommended to MMB and to HR for those awards to be started at 5. And so things like that. I'd like to be able to listen to membership and what their needs are and use the various groups that I am participating in order to advance the agenda of the workers here at Deed.
Awesome. Thank you, Liz. And to have you keep talking just a little bit. So our second question is membership is a big concern in our local. So our membership is sitting at below 60%, which is quite below the MAPE average. And it's very well below some of our peers in even the metro. And so it's a big concern for our local. And so do you have plans to engage non-members to join? And if so, what are they?
Sure. Well, a large part of my job on the rapid response team is managing projects. And so we take a layoff from beginning to end and lead the process throughout the whole campaign. And I think I would approach organizing in the same manner. It is a campaign. And so day one starts at that employee's first day of employment and really utilizing our time with the employees at their HR orientations, but making sure that we have a campaign and a plan for being able to communicate with them. I think somebody stopping by their office, and I think it's great that we have a whole group of people interested in participating in the organizing campaign already, and we're starting to meet, and I'm part of that group as well. So I think it's important to have a representative from that group meet with the individual, tell them about MAPE, tell them personal stories of why it's benefited them in their lives, and then ask them to join and have a card right then and there. When I first joined MAPE, I had to reach out, and granted, this was years ago, and no, I'm not pointing fingers or anything, but I had to reach out and sign the card and be a little advocate for myself when it came to joining because I was so excited to be a member. But I think we should make it really easy on folks. Thank you.
Amber, same question. And let me know if you need me to restate it.
No, I got it. Thanks so much, Michael. So I think that increasing our membership is about really starts with providing education, and the way that I'd want to do that is through holding regular information sessions about MAPE membership, because I think that again, like I said in my previous answer, I think that a lot of people probably don't actually understand or know that they are not MAPE members, right? Because I as someone who started in the last 8 months, I remember my first month here, I assumed that I was a MAPE member, and it wasn't until I got more information that I understood that there was a further step that I needed to take, right? And so I think that separating out non-MAPE members and really trying to tackle those folks who really don't understand that they aren't members, to really get them to take that next step, will be a really important step to getting us toward some of that higher membership rates that we want to see. And then I think that for the other folks, it's about doing the work to demonstrate the importance and the power of MAPE. And I think that the way that we do that is by training and empowering our current members to do one-on-ones with non-MAPE members. And that is work that I am adept at doing to help people have those one-on-one conversations and really empower them to do that. And I think that if we as MAPE members are doing the work to reach out to people individually to really demonstrate the importance and power of MAPE, I think that we again will see that higher increase in membership. And then I think finally, I think there's also a real opportunity to host social events for both members and non-members, something like the Saints game that happened earlier this year, because I think that getting people off their laptops or out of the workspace and really doing that work to engage with other folks and really see the power and benefit of the MAPE and be able to talk to people face to face is incredibly important. And so I would really look forward to, as the vice president, engaging in these activities, both through educational campaigns, one-to-ones, and through social events to really boost our membership in 501.
Thank you, Amber. And so then our next question, which goes to you to start, is what unique skills or talent do you bring to local leadership? And you have 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah. So as I was saying about myself earlier when I did my introduction, so my role at Deed, my title is innovation consultant, and I really love that title because I think it really perfectly encapsulates what it is that we do, which is helping teams across the agency think in innovative ways to solve big challenges through strategic planning, research, human-centered design, and facilitation. And so I think that the skills that both I bring to the role that I have today and that I use in this role really will really equip me as the vice president of 501. It'll help me to, I have the skills to lead strategic conversations that will be useful in 501 that will help us to identify our goals and our targets and what it is that we want to work on. I'm also a trained researcher, which provides me with the ability to do the work of gathering and synthesizing data and insights from 501 members in a really clear and concise way that helps to communicate what 501 members' needs are. And also, I have the skills to provide project management for these large goals, which is something that I leverage in my
10
everyday
seconds,
work.
Amber. Oh, good, perfect. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much for that. Liz, your turn.
Great. Yeah, I love this question, and I had to be really thoughtful about it at first and think back to my time in MAPE. And when I was interviewing to be a release staffer for the political cycle for 2022, one of the staffers asked me, oh, we had known each other through politics. Oh, Liz, I didn't know that you were a state employee. I have not seen you out and about. And I took that real to heart. I was like, well, I do things, with MAPE and my local, and wasn't recognized at like a state level. And so I ran for political council in addition to being a release staffer for the political season for 2022. I ran for political council for state office. And on that council, we worked really hard on the legislative agenda for MAPE's priorities. And we had our day of action every year on Capitol Hill. And we had monthly meetings in which we would receive information from the membership about usually legislative agenda items, but things of political nature. And then we would discuss them and then act on them and refer them out to other committees or other leadership entities for action items. And I had mentioned I'm also a steward. So I like to think that I take every aspect of MAPE and I've participated in that. And I've really worked hard to make sure that I'm an active member, and I've been doing that for as long as I've been a Deed employee, so 5.5 years. And I love that about MAPE, that it offers opportunities for you to be involved in different ways. Thanks.
Thank you, Liz. And And so then to have you talk just a little bit more, our last pre-prepared question is what vision do you have for Local 501?
Oh, wow. Um, For 501, I really think we should focus on the membership aspect of things. We hear it all the time. We're stronger together by the power of our numbers, and especially when it comes into negotiating our contract, MMB listens to the power of numbers. And so I would like 501 to shine when it comes to membership and increasing our numbers. And I outlined a plan for how to do that, and I'm very open to ideas, how we can have the executive board kind of lead those efforts from other members and be involved in the process with us. It's not just the executive level working on organizing campaign. But I also think, you know, the folks who show up are the ones who, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu saying, right? So I want to be thoughtful of the folks that are not at the table, and I want to still represent their thoughts and their views and their rights as deed employees and 501 members. So I want to do both. And the vision for the 501 membership is to have everybody have a um, a voice at the table, whether they're at the table or a little less involved. Thank you.
Yeah. Amber, same question.
Yeah, my vision for 501 is I really want our local to feel like a community of people who are united in building the power in our labor. And I want folks to feel empowered to get involved in MAPE, both through within our contract cycles, within the legislative lobbying that we do. I really want folks to feel empowered to get involved and be able to understand how this union works and how they are a part of it. And I think that that's so important because it feels clear to me that societally we all want big systemic change, and I really hope that through my work as vice president that I can help make Local 501 be the center of that change for MAPE.
Awesome, thank you. Since we're nearly at time, there is one question in the comments that I'll take. If anyone else has questions, please either raise your hand, send me a DM, or you put it in the chat. And what we can also do is if there is still a lot at the end and we have time, I'll send them to the candidates and have them write answers if they'd like. So this question's from Maureen. How will you both support the upcoming contract campaign and help us be strike ready? Being well prepared for a strike will help us have the leverage where we won't need to. And so I'll have Amber, you answer that first.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great question, Maureen. So thank you for it. So I'll take it in two parts. So how I'll support the upcoming contract campaign. I've already been in work. Also, I've already been involved in work with the contract action team and been involved with the 32-hour work week, working to build the power to win historic gains in 2025. So I'm actually already involved in that work to support MAPE members in the upcoming cycle. And I think as far as the second part of that, which is around being strike ready, I think that really comes in two. I really see that it's coming in two parts. It's around logistics and education, right? So as vice president, I would do the work, the sort of logistical work to think about, what are our strike funds? What do they look like? How can we support folks? When and where are we picketing? Getting people organized to do that work. And also doing the work to think about the timeline of the strike and communicating with other locals and MAPE and really doing that coalition building work. And then I think the second prong of that is doing the education to our members to inform them about the possibility of a strike, what it means, how they can be involved, how to leverage the strike fund. So really doing so. I would really look forward to being involved in really doing the work to make sure that we were organized in our strike and also that people had the information they felt like they needed. Because I really do think that the strike is our power and really would want members of Local 501 to feel empowered in being strike ready.
Awesome. Thank you, Amber. Liz, same question.
Great question. I love that the vice president has the flexibility to take on that role and being very active with the contract negotiations and supporting those, and then also being the lead for the preparing for a strike. I think it breaks down into three categories: preparation, education, and action. And the preparation is talking with members about what a strike is. I mean, goodness gracious, we don't come across them very often, and they're scary, and it's a big commitment, and it's the power that we have as a union member to really stop things in their tracks and say, no, you need to listen to us about our working conditions and rights. So, and then comes in the education as part of that preparation, right? So informing members of what it means to be on strike, what it means to have financial resources outside of income, and then the action part of it. So bringing in other unions. I think we've seen when the teachers or education professionals and the nurses have gone out on strike, they have, I mean, the AFL-CIO has a great structure that we are a part of when it comes to political campaigns, but I think we're trying to grow in our relationships with other unions and make sure we're coordinating not just during political campaigns, but all the time. And I see strike as an opportunity for that, because when nurses and teachers go on strike, you see firefighters and building trades and technicians and all sorts of other industries at the picket line. And so we would need the support of the labor movement behind us. And I am a key person to be able to bring that together because of my 20 years in working with the AFL-CIO affiliated unions. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you both. That will be all the questions for today as we're at 12:30. I feel comfortable doing this, saying that I think, if you have further questions, you can also reach out to both of the candidates, and I'm sure they would be happy to answer any questions or concerns that you have. If both candidates would like to put their email in the chat, you could feel free to go for it now. I really do think we have two very amazing candidates here for this position, and I'm very excited for this. As a reminder, we are currently in our voting email, or excuse me, we're currently in our voting period. That ends the 12th, right, Janaea? Yep, it ends December 12th. So you have until now, until the 12th to vote. Feel free to come back to this. This will be recorded and posted on our website. Feel free to ask questions to the candidates. And yeah, thank you all. And thank you both to the candidates for stepping up to run and for being willing to talk to us today.
Thank you,
Thank you all so
Michael
much,
and
everyone.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
The room says thank you. You can't see them because they're on the other side of the screen, but they say thank you.